Hi guys, today I'm back to film my empties for August. Kind of a lot of stuff this month, not as much as last month. I'm still kind of at that point where I feel like I have a lot of things that are like half full or almost empty, and I'm just kind of slowly working through them. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with what is in here. Finished two little benefit samples. I got these with an online like Ulta purchase. I made one, I guess it's been a few months now. At the time, you didn't get your employee discount online. I'm sure that's still the same, so that kind of sucked, but you did get these little samples with it. So I got the Benefit Professional, which I've used before, and I just am not a huge fan of it. It doesn't do a whole lot for me in terms of filling in my pores. I've tried applying this a couple different ways. I've tried just, rubbing it into my skin. I've tried pressing into my skin. I've tried like patting my skin. Nothing that I do like makes this product work for me, so it's not one I would repurchase. I just used up the sample because I'm like, it's a primer. I can, pretty quickly go through this. And I think this was only like 2 uses for me, so this is now finished. This one took a little bit more time. This is the Benefit Air Patrol, like their BB eyelid primer, which is interesting. I don't know why it's a BB cream and an eyelid primer, but whatever. This one did last me quite a while. I'm going to lift this up and maybe you'll be able to see, but it's quite yellow. It's actually kind of dark too. So on my skin, it just was very noticeable. It was very yellowy and very dark. So this is not something I'd repurchase. It worked fine. I didn't have any issues with it. It was a fine eyelid primer. It's just that because of that tint, it just kind of looked a little weird on me. So I wouldn't repurchase this, but I mean, I used it up, so. Finished up these Boots number 7 Beautiful Skin Quick Thinking Wipes. These are my favorite makeup remover wipes. I do like the Neutrogena ones as well, but I like the Boots ones a little bit more. And I feel like they might be a better price, or you can get a better deal on them than you usually can with the Neutrogena ones. So these I'll repurchase, of course. We finished off another body wash this month. This is the Ulta Tahitian Waters Sea and Summer Citrus Shower Gel. Not my favorite. The scent was a little weird. I don't know how to explain it. I guess I could see the sea scent, and it does kind of have a slight citrusy scent as well. So I kind of see where they're coming from with the scent, but it wasn't really that strong. It wasn't a scent that lingered, and for some reason it was really, really hard to get the shower gel out of the bottle. I don't know why, but I mean, I just remember sitting there and just like squeezing, and you can tell like the bottle is like bent, or maybe you can't tell, but the bottle is like really bent here in the middle from us like squeezing, trying to get some out. I don't know, it was really hard to get it out. I do like the Ulta shower gels, but I mean, this one just really wasn't anything special. It was just a summer collection one. I think it was on clearance even. So this, I mean, I can't repurchase it because it's a summer collection and they no longer have it. I do like the Ulta shower gels, just not particularly this one. So I'll probably repurchase the Ulta ones again, or I'm kind of thinking about trying some new ones now that I no longer work at Ulta. This is one of those products I have been working on forever, and I'm finally glad to see it go. This is the Neutrogena Pore Refining Toner. I don't know, this never did anything to help with my pores. The main thing that I liked it for was that if I was wearing no makeup and my skin was just getting really oily and I didn't want to necessarily waste a blotting paper or anything like that, I could take a little bit of this on a cotton ball, and because I think like literally the second ingredient in this is alcohol, so it immediately like absorbed any excess oil and stuff, but because of that it also kind of felt like it was drying out my skin. So my favorite way to use this is to soak up any excess oil, like I said, kind of throughout the day, just kind of touching up, or if I was about to apply makeup and I felt like my skin was a little overly moisturized or a little too oily, I would kind of go through with this and get any of that off before putting on makeup. But this I would not repurchase. I have other toners I like way more than this, so this I will not be repurchasing. This is my Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water. This is the one that's meant to take off like waterproof and long wear makeup. So this one was the one that it looks like water for most of it, and then there's like a little bit that looks like it's an oil. So it's like a dual phase or whatever. Biphase. Is it biphase or dual phase? I guess I've heard both. I would just take this on a cotton ball and remove off like my eye makeup and my dip brow, because my dip brow is really hard to get off. Maybe a little bit of my face makeup if it was like really difficult to remove, but I love this for taking off eye makeup. It is one of the best things I have ever used. It just gets all that difficult stuff off so easily. It just like melts it away. However, Garnier is not cruelty free. So I think I'm going to try, I want to say I heard that Simple is cruelty free, so I'm going to try them next. If I don't find another micellar water that I like better, I'll come back to this, but I'd really like to find something that's cruelty free. Plus I really like the packaging for this one. I don't know, that, and it feels like a really big bottle. It is 13.5 ounces, so it does feel like you definitely get your money's worth. I know this lasted forever for me. I did repurchase it, but like I said, once I finish that one, I want to try to find one that's cruelty free. So even though I've repurchased it, I probably won't if I find a better option. This is the Ulta sunscreen. It is in broad spectrum SPF 50, and it's just like a little spray one. So we used this up like our last day that we went to the pool. It just, I think I've talked about this before in a favorites video and how I just felt like it didn't work, at least for me. I sprayed it on my son. He never gets sunburnt. So I really don't know if the sunscreen even did anything for him because, like I said, he doesn't get burnt. So I wouldn't know whether this actually worked for him, but I know for me, I got burnt in the places that I just applied this, and that's not really okay. So I'm going to stick with my Sun Bum. I won't be purchasing this. Sun Bum does make a spray, which I should get because it's so much easier to put spray on little kids. They don't want to hold still to put on lotion. And I've learned that this last summer with putting the Sun Bum on my son, he doesn't want to stand there while I put it on. So the spray is so much easier, which is pretty much why we finished this, because we were at the pool. He wants to jump in and play, so I hurried and sprayed him really quick with this and then finished and sprayed myself with it and finished it off. But I'm not going to repurchase this anymore. I've heard kind of some mixed reviews on the Ulta brand sunscreens anyways, so I think I'm just going to stick with the brands I know work for me. Finished up another one of these. This is the Batiste Neon Lights Pomegranate and Jasmine. I should know that by now. I just realized that this says limited edition on this can, and I'm really hoping that they don't get rid of this. I'm hoping that I buy enough of it and everybody else does that they won't get rid of it, because this is my favorite scent. For some reason, I do feel like this one works better than some of the other Batiste cans I've had. I know that's strange. But I think I am going to be going a little bit darker with my hair, something closer to my natural hair color, just so my hair can grow out for my wedding. So if that's the case, I'll probably switch to like the medium brown tinted one instead, because that's probably going to be a little closer to what my natural hair color is. You guys have seen it in videos. I've had roots plenty of times. Anyways, off track, I do love Batiste. I have a backup of these. I don't know if I'm going to purchase it again though, because I do kind of want to try some other dry shampoos. And like I said, Batiste does have a tinted one that might be a little closer to what I'm going to be coloring my hair, so I might pick up that. But I think I'm kind of taking a break from the neon lights for a while, which makes me sad because it is, like I said, limited edition. Finished this out of my Sephora Play Box. This is fragrance from Clean. It says Clean Reserve. This is the Blonde Rose one. When I read this, I was like, this sounds right up my alley. But wearing it, I couldn't handle it. I was complaining about it later in the day. I was like, Grandma, I can still smell this perfume on me and I don't like it. And she's like, well, then why did you spray it? And I'm like, well, I was, you know, this is my first time wearing it, my first time testing it out. So I think she thought that I had bought it and didn't like it, which, no. So the notes for this one are rose, peony, jasmine, musk, and sandalwood. I'm thinking the sandalwood might be the part that I don't really like because, I mean, rose, peony, jasmine, that all sounds just like so up my alley. And then you get to the sandalwood part and I'm just kind of like, oh. But I don't know. I didn't really like this perfume on me. However, I am kind of interested in some of their other ones because they're like more eco-conscious brand and that kind of thing. So I wonder if they'd be like cruelty-free and that kind of thing too. But I don't know. So maybe I'll check out, see if they have some other perfumes that maybe I would like. But this one was kind of a dud for me. Now, I'm going to be honest. I really hate when people give reviews on products and they're wishy-washy. But it just happens, and it's kind of unavoidable sometimes, and that's how I feel about these products. These are the Goldwell Cure Silk Color. There's the shampoo and the Intensive Luster Mask. I don't know, I used these. I used them up, obviously, because they're in my empties, but I just don't feel one way or the other about them. I don't think they were particularly great, and I don't think they were bad. They were just kind of okay, middle of the road. I don't have color-treated hair. I have bleached hair, so literally there's... I don't know how to explain this without going too technical, but with bleach you're removing pigment, so there is like no pigment, and when you're coloring hair you're putting pigment in. So color, you know, based shampoos are normally trying to keep that kind of pigment in. Not that you can't use them if your hair is not colored, but I'm just saying I wouldn't have noticed whether this really helped with my color or not because I don't have color in my hair. So for color treatment, I really don't know how well this worked. It did make my hair, you know, a little more shiny and a little soft, but I just feel like it wasn't really anything particularly great or particularly bad. So kind of middle of the road with this one. I probably won't repurchase it just because I'll probably go for things that are more what my hair needs. So I finished this Nip and Fab Viper Venom Micro Blur Fix. This I thought was going to be, you know, like a veil primer where it's kind of like almost feels powdery and like a silicone primer. It's kind of interesting. But no, this was kind of like a sort of a gel. I don't know. It was kind of weird. Once it was on the skin, it did like matte down really fast, but it does not blur imperfections. It was kind of mattifying, like I said, but it really was not what I was looking for, and I want to say this was quite pricey. I want to say it's about 20 bucks. Nip and Fab, I mean, they're more of a skincare line, and their prices aren't too bad compared to things at the drugstore, but I was like 20 bucks for a primer. It just kind of didn't impress me. So this I will not repurchase. Yeah, it just really was not my favorite. Finished up this from my Sephora Play Box. I think this was actually a couple months ago now. This is the First Aid Beauty Skin Rescue Deep Cleanser with Red Clay. It says it's to remove excess oils, unclog pores, and purify. It says safe for sensitive skin. I can back the safe for sensitive skin claim because my boyfriend has sensitive skin and he used this and no problems. I don't know why he used it because it says removes excess oil and he has dry skin. So I don't know why he used it. I think when he saw safe for sensitive skin, he was just like, oh, cool, and used it. But whatever. The cleanser is like a red color like this. It's kind of like a rusty red. It's almost a little bit orangey. Again, this product kind of wishy-washy. I don't really feel like it did anything. I didn't notice any differences in my skin. It was just kind of a basic cleanser. I didn't really try to use this for like makeup removal or anything. I pretty much just use this on days that I wasn't wearing makeup or washing my face before makeup, that kind of thing. I just never really felt like I saw any difference, so this is probably not something I would, you know, seek out to buy again, but if you have sensitive skin, First Aid Beauty would probably be a really good line for you to try. This I am so happy to finish. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer, or actually Invisible Cover Concealer, which is a pretty good name for this because invisible is pretty much what this is. If I wear a sheer coverage foundation and I put this on top, I do get a tiny bit of coverage, but it's just hardly anything. It's nice because it's not a super, I don't feel like it's a super matte concealer. I know a lot of people don't like using super matte concealers in the under eyes because it looks dry, it looks crepey. This isn't super dry, I feel like. I feel like it's kind of like it'll set, but it's not super, super matte and like drying on the under eyes. I feel like the consistency of this is a little more runny. It's not super runny, but I mean, I don't know, probably the same consistency really as the Urban Decay Naked Skin. This just didn't do anything for me, so I would not repurchase this. It is quite pricey too. I want to say it's like $28, which Urban Decay is as well, but at least I feel like I get a lot of use out of that and a lot of coverage. This just didn't really do that for me. I liked it the first couple times I tried it, and I think that's because I was already using it with a full coverage foundation. So when I put this on top, it was just kind of a nice under eye brightener. It is nice for very fair skin because this is the color Y21, which I believe is the lightest one, and it does highlight on my under eyes, but that was really the only positive thing about it, and it wasn't super drying because it just didn't offer the kind of coverage I was looking for. So this I will not repurchase. I know this seems like it has a little bit of product left in there, but I couldn't get it out. This is the Murad Essential C Day Moisturizer. I've talked about this before. I do like this. It has like a nice citrusy scent. Well, citrusy sunscreen scent, I should say. It's kind of got a little bit of a sunscreen scent. I do really like this moisturizer for days that I'm not wearing makeup, because if I am wearing makeup, it's just too greasy feeling, and I think some of that has to do with the fact that it does have sunscreen in it. But I think it's a really nice moisturizer, and the sunscreen in here is really, really good, because that kind of saved me from getting burnt a couple times that the rest of my body got burnt where I didn't apply this. I was using it like on my shoulders and stuff because my shoulders get really dry and they tend to burn really easily. But I do think I actually have a few more of these little sample guys. I know I grabbed a bunch of them when I was working at Ulta one time. We had, like, I'm not even joking, we probably had like 150. and there's only like 15 employees or something like that. So it was like everybody just take a handful. So I have like 4 of them. So I know I've finished a few of these, but I think I do have a few more still. So I don't really need to repurchase this because I have the little sample ones. I don't know though that if I ran out of my samples, if I would repurchase this, because I feel like there's probably other good facial sunscreens and stuff, but I don't know, maybe if I really missed it, I probably would, but I just don't think that it's good enough that I would repurchase it again. Finished this little Urban Decay Eden eyeshadow primer little pod thing. I do have a couple more of these little pod things to go through, but for the most part, I think I'm almost done with them. Eden's fine, however, it is the matte one, so I'm not really a huge fan of it just because I kind of like primers that are just clear, let the eyeshadow, you know, have its own finish, because this can kind of alter the finish of your shadows. So if you put a shimmery one on top, it's not quite as shimmery and that kind of thing. So I don't know, I just personally don't really care for the matte one. I like the original one better. So I won't repurchase like the Eden one, which, well, I guess I should say I won't purchase the Eden one because I didn't purchase this. It just came with like a palette or something, but the original one is my favorite, so this I'm not going to purchase. And my last 2 empties are my Project Pan ones, so if you've watched my Project Pan videos, you already know about these. This is just me kind of giving a review on them. First up is the NYX Radiant Finishing Powder. This powder, if you've watched my Project Pan videos again, it's like, I think like 6 colors. There's like a white, a pink, trying to think, a yellow, a purple, a green, and a blue. And you just kind of swirl it all together. It ends up pretty much being a white powder. All the shades in there are pastel. All of them are matte except for the white. The white is like a shimmery white, which is kind of strange. So I noticed that sometimes when I used it on the under eyes, it looked very shimmery. Other times it looked more like just a matte white powder, which was kind of fine. But I'm just not someone, I don't really like stark white powders on my under eye. Even though I am super, super fair, I just don't like them. I don't know. I've just never been a fan of them. I just think they look kind of, they can just look kind of chalky and ashy sometimes, so I'm not really a big fan of them. But last time I looked, these were on clearance at Ulta, so I don't know if NYX is even going to be making these anymore, but it's okay because I'm not going to repurchase it. The powder was fine itself, really, for setting the under eyes. I just didn't really like the shimmery white and stuff, so not going to repurchase that. And my last empty is MAC Russian Red. I do like MAC lipsticks. MAC is not cruelty free though, so it's something I'm kind of trying to avoid. And Russian Red is really just one of those iconic, beautiful red colors, but I do have other red lipsticks in my collection though, and I just feel like they hardly get any use because I don't really wear that much red lipstick. I think after this year and panning this, I probably will start to wear red lipstick more because it's something I've gotten more comfortable with, and I've, you know, kind of grown to like it a lot more on myself. So I do like MAC lipsticks, but I probably won't repurchase Russian Red particularly, just because, like I said, I have other red lipsticks. And while this one's pretty and nice, it's nothing amazing and I have to have it. So this is now done and going back to MAC. So that is it for my empties video for August. I'm hoping September will be kind of the same and I'll have a lot of empties and stuff to show you guys. I feel like I am kind of cleaning through some things. I'm also trying to kind of not to use up too many products because there are some things I know I want to save for Project Pan next year. I'm kind of getting my list ready. I know it's a bit early, but I'm just trying to kind of have an idea, so that way with all the decluttering and stuff too, I don't throw away something that I might want to pan. I don't have anything else left to say, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!